So this funding will require a minimum of you need to have some of this below to have to have an eligible applicant. You need to have complete application that you can submit in our submittable application site. The link is posted in our website, and in your applications, you have at least one UK applicant and one Vietnam applicant, and the Vietnam applicant will be the lead one. For in the application, you will need to include the project budget and timeline as well. If you apply as an organization, your organization must be registered in the UK or in one of the 6 Southeast Asia countries, and as I also mentioned, the timeline of the project must be end no later than the 28th of February 2022. In case that you think that your project might go beyond 28th of February 2022, we can consider extensions, but it will be based on a case-by-case basis. And so what we are not, who will not be eligible for applicants? So we are not the fund are not for academic institutions or funding bodies or any funders. But if you are students or professors or academic practitioners, you can apply as long as the project will be of yourself, not of the institutions, and it will be self-direct by yourself, and also this grant is not for Vietnam nationals but living outside of Vietnam. And for the British, your British partner, they can be living outside of the UK, but just temporarily, and they have an address in the UK, and then we have, you can refer to the link that we'll send later about the how to define resident of the UK. Oh, sorry, someone has. Sorry. Okay. So, how the applications will be evaluated? So you can see here we will based on different four big criteria for the selection, and firstly, on the partnerships, you will need to show the your potential partnership between you and your partner, and this project will be mutually and equally benefiting both for the UK and the Vietnam applicants. And this applies also for the management. and the management in technically and also for the budget. You will it means that the budget must be divided equally between the two partners. Also, with the time that they are they contribute to the project, and the difference is just that the lead applicant will be the budget manager, and will have to report, provide write the report on the project, and will be the focal point with us later. The third the third key point of the third important criteria is that we will need the proposal to address the equality, diversity, and environmental sustainability. For example, even you have a very great idea about an artistically, but you don't address any of the thing about quality or diversity, you will have lower point than the other one with address these points. And for example, in I will talk more about the equality, diversity, inclusion, or environmental thing later, our policy on that, but here we'd like to mean the social purpose of the project would be also a key criteria for selection. And the final and the most important criteria is about your artistic and creativity, creative quality of the project. And also we mentioned about the innovation of your approach. It would innovation is not necessarily mean high technology, but can be ideas for efficient systems in a community, or new ways of communication, of communicating concerns and ambitions. I will read here the notes for applicants. You can find that on our website, but we strongly advise you to read carefully the note for applicants, and before you speak to your collaborators, and plan ahead enough time to complete the submittable form. For this program, we will be using everything in English. So the submittable form, all the question in the submittable form will be in English, and you need to input your information in English. You have until now to the 5th of September to submit your application. The information session is today, is this session. But if you do have any inquiry after this session, you can email us later. It's okay. So we'll provide the email address by the end of this slide, and we are expecting we will your applications will be scored within September, and we are expecting to announce the result by the 30th of September 2021. After that, the country team, so us in Vietnam for applicants from Vietnam will get in touch to sign the contract, and we'll have different different terms in the contract upon the amount of grant that you are applied for. And after signing the contract and before you start your project, we will also have an orientation section with the successful applicants, sometime in October. And while you are running in implementing your project with your partner, we will in touch with you regularly for support and to update your progress, and as well as sharing the information about your projects with our network. And in the as part of the grant agreement, you will be required to have a public presentation of your project by the end of the project, sometime before of February. And we the British Council will support you with the communications about this. And this public presentation mustn't be a wide a big event or with a big audience, but it's up to you. But you must have a final event for the project, and the grant will be considered as complete if you submit everything first and on time before 28th of February. You will be required to submit the technical report and the financial report, as well as the report on the number of audience for your project. So with our experience for the previous round, some of the local applicants, like for example Vietnam applicant, told us that they don't have connection in the UK. So we will sharing you some of the website or some of the resource that you can look for potential UK partner. We'll post very soon a list of website where you can refer to have you to look for UK partner. If you do have already a potential counterpart, you must be thinking on how to work effectively with them and describe it clearly in your application. So to submit to apply for the grant, you will see we have shared the Submit Table link in the Submit Table platform. You will need to create a Submit Table account before you can see the questions and the application form, and you can see you can once you have once you have sorry. Sorry. Once you have created the Submit Table account, and start to fill your application. You can stop in anywhere you want. But once you click on submit, you can change it anymore. And while you are working on submit table, if you do have any issue with the access to submit table or any technical thing, you can get the help from the submit table form platform, or you can email us on the email that you can see on the screen. And we can have on case-by-case basis, and if you can resolve the problem with submit table, we can accept the offline form, offline application through email. What do you need to before you input your information on the submit table? We advise that you get everything ready before you input into your application form. So you will need, of course, the information about your who will be the lead one, yourself, who will be the lead one, who will be the counterpart, and their contact details, the CVs of everyone involved in the project, the portfolio of you or your partner, and the letter of support from your partner is we call it the counterpart. And you will, as I mentioned, you need to describe your project in the application from the most detail that you have. So let's think on what you are going to do or how you are going to do it for your target. Who will be your target audience? If your proposal address equality, diversity, or including marginalized communities, women and girls, or ethnic minority group, or address environmental issues. And you can think about all these questions that we list here. What would be, how innovative is your project, or how you and your partner will be collaborate remotely. And one thing to note here, that you will need to include your budget and timeline in and you will need to import the amount in Great British pounds, and we have an exchange rate for Vietnamese dong is as 31,700 dong for £1. You can exchange that later, or we will use it exchange rate in the contract, but in the application you will need to input the budget, the amount in GBP. As we will require the report on the number of audience by the end of the project, so we suggest that when you do the application, you must think about, do you want to have online audience, or how you get the how many audience or participants will be joining your project, or you want to reach, and do you have will you doing something on site, face-to-face thing? I run a bit more quickly because I'm conscious of time. You might have more. We will need to take time for the Q&A session, and the access support for our access support for submit table I have mentioned. So if you do have any problem with submit table, you can get help from the platform themselves, or you can email us. And yes, that the M&E output I've just mentioned on the last slide is about your number of activities, participants, visitors, or publications that you will have done within this project and your project. And you will must submit the M&E that audience report, the technical report, and the financial report with the receipts or other financial supporting documents to us by the end of the project. And one thing to be bear in mind, that in case you are working with if your project working with children, the British Council will require the police check for certificate for all your project participants. Or if your project have audience under the children audience, we might provide training on safeguarding children and vulnerable adults for your project. We will share with you these slides later, so you can access to our policy, link to our policy in safeguarding later. And you can see more detail on this line. So I'm coming to the last part of my presentation, just to share you about some of the projects that we have been worked with in the last 2 years. So this is the project between Heather. So this example is just for you for have an idea on what kind of collaboration you can have. For example, this is the collaboration between Heather Lander from Glasgow, a visual artist, and Linh Ha, a music artist based in Hanoi. They are having different they are having time working together, and have shared different blog on for their work, and they will very soon have a public events on the 4th of September, showcasing their final work. Is the mix between the visual and musical work. This one is also. Can everyone mute your mic? Thank you. So this another example from Vietnam is the work by Nguyễn Anh Tuấn, collaborating with UK colleagues from SWAS, and they together they developed a Vietnam archive website, and this site will be launched expect to launch in this September. And another another project has been done by Đàm Văn Huỳnh and Văn Huỳnh Company from the UK, and more by Ngô Thành Phương in Vietnam. They are both contemporary dance company, so they are working remotely and to have an online research on sound. They call physical sound arts, and explore the relationship between the movement and sound. And the last one, the last example coming from the Malaysia organization, and Ellen Foster, and this is an example on how to a good example on how they embed the diversity element into the project. So it is they share and learn about between the British artists and Malaysian artists, and and also deaf educators to share experiences on deaf art and sign languages, and the poetry. They do have poetry performance with deaf languages. So thank you very much for listening for quite a long presentation, and let's go. Let's have a look with the question. I see some of the questions have been addressed already by Randall. Do you have? I see Anh Vinh have a question. Anh Vinh, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself and raise the question. Anh Vinh, are you there?
Hello, can I ask a quick
Yes.
question? Hi.
Hi, thanks.
Hi, thank you for the presentation first. It's all very clear, and thank you for answering the questions in the texts. I want to ask a quick question really to do with outputs. Is it required for outputs to be in both Vietnamese and in English, or preferred?
What does it mean by outputs here?
The presentations, for instance, in our project, would we want it just purely to be in English or translated into Vietnamese, you know, parallel translations in accompanying meta text?
For the outputs of the project, we don't have any requirement on the language. It can be English or Vietnamese, as long as the collaborated product from your project.
Great, thank you. Yeah, we were thinking of doing both, so we wanted to factor in the translation and transliteration component. Thank you so much.
But you will see but we have a criteria that it mutually benefiting the UK and the Vietnam. So if you can do it, you can have more. It can benefit both the Vietnamese audience and the UK audience if you can do the translation. I think so.
Great. Thank you. The other question was linked to that. I don't know if you can answer it here. One of our partners in the UK is based in Wales, and
Mm-hmm.
they put their language into Welsh. They're very proud of their language. So we're thinking of English, Vietnamese, and Welsh. I don't know if that comes into the marginalized section or small groups.
It could be.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, thank you.
One more point that I forgot to mention that in your when you build up your budget, don't forget to input your, for example, like your example, you need to, if you do have translation, you need to input the time for the translation, the resources for that, or you can you must input it must cover all the taxes applicable taxes, and also please include the transaction fee as well for from Vietnam to UK or UK Vietnam.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Uh, Sorry, I'm looking through the question. I'm a current from Tien. I'm current student in the UK. How I need to Vietnam when my visa get expired. So, expired. So, am I eligible for grant as an UK applicant? Randall, can you help with that? I
Yes,
think. Yeah, go ahead.
certainly.
Yeah.
Yes. So Tien, I think yes, you can still be considered as a UK applicant because your residence number of residents is beyond 183 days as per the description in the guidance from the UK government website. So I think this will still fall under the months of your application and the month that you will be signing the contract. So just please also clarify on your contract that this situation will be happening so that we could just have it recorded as part of your proposal. And in case you are selected, we will have that proof of your transition in coming back to Vietnam. So I hope that is clear. And I would just like also to get back home, if you don't mind, to Danny's question on
Mhm.
uh, multiple languages. I think that's what we actually support. And I just also posted on the chat that it would be good that the planning of how languages will be used in whatever art form that you would be actually doing, whether it be for music, for architecture, even for visual arts, if you are actually sharing information, because everything will be shared online anyway, and it would actually be beneficial to the British Council if we would have dual languages or multimodal languages or multi languages in any of your outputs. If you say that because the outputs literally of the project is your experience as you go along the way, and we are very happy to communicate whatever outputs or processes that you may want to share publicly as you go along. And also, as mentioned to Danny's question earlier, the grant is for your process and time as you connect with the person in the other continent, in the other region. So if you are planning to create a book, not necessarily the book will come out after 5 months. It may come after, I mean, at the end of next year. But we would want the Connections to Culture project is for you to talk together, create your, simply it's your research and development time for that book. And the way for us to say that our our grant is effective is that if you have if through the grant you were able to come up with the firmer um, design of that book, then therefore and eventually you will have that book project launched 3 months after or a year after, then that's the aim of the grant.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randall.
Uh, and 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 uh, and thank you, Alexandra, to confirm about Welsh language. Um, the next question is how from here, how the British Council managed the payment? Would the British Council pay in pound to the UK lead or pay in Vietnam dong for Vietnam lead? So as I mentioned, we for this round of oh, for this round of grant, we prefer the Vietnamese applicant to be the lead applicant, and when sign the contract, we will sign Vietnam dong with the Vietnam grantee. The next question is that does the British Council currently have any groups, platforms, communities to connect the applicants between the UK and Southeast Asia who have shared values? Um, our British Council in Vietnam, we don't have a specific kind of platforms or groups, but is there some groups from the region, Brando?
Unfortunately, within the ASEAN cluster, we do have less formal associations of artist organizations. One on top of my head right now is what we call as Transnation. So I might have to Google for the link, but it is a national coalition of artists, which is actually primarily created due to um, the concerns with Myanmar and in some of the militant concerns in Southeast Asia. There is also a foundation in Southeast Asia which is called ASEAN Foundation, which can lead you to some of our artist networks in or country artist networks in the cluster. However, unfortunately, there is no comprehensive Southeast Asia directory yet of artists and creators within the region, and that's where British Council is actually working on across all of our other arts programs. I just also posted, however, for Vietnam-based or Vietnam applicants, we do have art directories in the UK. So I posted some of the links on the chat. I hope that this would help Vietnam applicants who are really not connected still with a UK artist. Um, Ideally, we would want applicants who, and it will be part of how we would be looking at the strength of your application, is that you would already have met someone from the UK, and you might have already worked in other projects before, not with the connections for culture, and we see that the connection is already existing, but we also are because this is a program for new connections. We hope that you will be able to find someone in the UK through the some of the links that I posted here, or through other networks or connections that you might have already at hand. Um, okay. And Tao also posted a link for Creative Hubs, which is a Vietnam project of all of the creative networks in Vietnam, which is a project of the arts team in Vietnam. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, do anyone have other question? Oh, Fiametta, can you in the form of register? Can you speak out loud your question now? Sorry. about the requirements for nationality. So, for example, for the we we need ideal not ideally if the the program will support the British citizen, the Vietnam citizen in our case, or Southeast Asia countries, citizens from the other Southeast Asian countries. But in case you are not a British citizen, but you are based in the UK, following the policy that Rando has shared previously and have just run through it with Tien, so you would also be eligible. Unfortunately, I don't think a non-Vietnamese citizen based in Vietnam can apply for this for this grant. Jenna, do we store the previous project? We do have all the information about the previous projects in our websites, in the connection through culture page. You can also we do have this information of each country in each website of the country. So in our website in Vietnam, we have the past project. So you can see in the chat now, Nga from our team has just shared the link to our website. You can find information about the previous grantees here with project made by the Vietnam involved Vietnamese partners. You can also check the other website of other countries to see further other projects in the Southeast Asian countries. Sorry, Fiametta, for the Vietnam applicant, they must have the Vietnamese citizenship, but for the UK one, they can be UK citizen or from other country, but living as a permanent resident in the UK. So we have 4 minutes more, but if you do have don't have any further question now, but you have questions later before your submit for application, you can send to this email on my slides. One is from the cultural connection through culture team in the region, and directly to our Vietnam arts team at the British Council. Oh, sorry, I see the last question from Hiếu.
I can help you with this, Hong, if you want.
Yes, go ahead, Randall.
Yes, thanks, Hyo or Hyo. I'm sorry
Hiếu,
if Hyo. If I mispronounce your name. Eligibility or the budget, this will actually cover all of these things. I think so. The important thing is that the allotment between first is the equitability. When we say equitability, it's not actually necessarily equal, but we understand that the funds is shared mutually between the UK and Vietnam co-applicants. So in terms of how you would, when I think when we say support fee for artists, this would either fall on as a professional fee for the artist or a fee for the time that you are engaging with the artist, which is actually okay. Support fee for volunteer staff running the event, definitely. If you're going to do something offline or actually an online production, that could also be covered. If I think, Hugh, the point of your project is to do an event, right, or a conference or a seminar at the end of the time of project delivery, then that's also covered. Marketing fee, yes, it may also include anything that would actually contribute to the communications of your project outside. So it would be on for print or for your subscription to several websites, social media boosting for your Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, if that is intended to be a part of your project. Sorry if I'm yeah, okay. So did I answer your question, Hugh? I hope I did.
So on your question, I just want to add on that we will the fund the grant will not be covering travel, international travel, or the overhead of an organization, or other costs like buying equipment, like a laptop for the project. It will be uh, not covered. And if you anyone for any payment expenses that you are unsure, please contact us so we can tell you if it is eligible or not. And also we'd like to advise that you might need to have plan B or plan C for your project. Yeah, even just at the moment when you will submit for the apply for this grant. So we are running out of time, and again, if you do have any question, please do not hesitate to send us. We are here to answer everything. And thank you again for your participation today, and we are much looking forward to see your applications and hope to be able to work with some of you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best. Thank you,
Take
Hong
care.
Brando.
Thank you.
Thank you
Take
all.
care.
Bye.
Bye.